All right, welcome back to Cricket for Americans. Nick here, and I am excited to talk about this huge match, Pakistan-India. And like CrickBuzz says on their description for the commentary of the match, this was not as high profile as far as the build-up and the hype as you would think for Pakistan-India. Maybe that's because it's Asia Cup and not World Cup. I don't know. I know a lot of our audience that's super excited for this Asia Cup. Especially, Indian, Pakistani audience, also Sri Lanka audience. But this was a big match. The last time I saw these two teams play was in the World Cup. They're at the UAE, and Pakistan pretty much had their way with India, and India lost their first World Cup match to Pakistan. So how are they going to respond? I'm going to talk about it here. Let me just say, Gabe's not here because he's taking care of some family stuff. And I'm here alone because I want to talk about this match. It was great to join Ozjod on our dual stream. No matter where you went, which channel you went on there, you're able to see our stream. So that was a lot of fun. I want to say thanks to Ozjod. And Ozjod had a lot of correct predictions, a lot of correct things to say about this match. But when it came down to it, it was down to the last over, down to the last few balls. They chased it with 2 balls to go in the 4th ball, the 20th over. India did. India wins 148 by, I believe, for 5 was their score. Yep. And then Pakistan got bowled out with 1 ball to go in their innings with 147. And India, let's start off with the first innings. India opted to bowl, which was a great choice. They didn't have Boomer, they didn't have Sham, they didn't have a lot of different bowlers that you would think they had there. So they decided to go with the side of Bhuvi, Hardik Singh, Hardik Pandya, Avesh Khan, Shahal Jadeja. Khan and Singh were the two that kind of surprised me, but it worked out. Boomer's not available, so you got to get some pace somewhere. And Avesh Khan got himself a wicket. He only bowled 2 overs because he was a little expensive. Arshdeep Singh got himself 2 wickets. He was also a little expensive as well, but he was able to get the job done. Those tail ender wickets are still important because in this match, every run you can save matters, and getting that bowled out, even with 1 ball left to go, loomed huge. Pakistan gets 1 more ball. Let's say they get a 6, which is very conceivable in the last ball of the over. If the bowler's not got their line accurate or whatever, then you're talking about a different situation where it's a little more nail-biter. Not going to say that they would have won in that situation, but you just never know. But the first innings, it started and it ended with Babar Azam's wicket. I mean, if you're a Pakistan fan, that was gut-wrenching. It really took the wind out of Ozjod's sails as far as he still put on a great stream. He was still professional. But you can tell, and he had mentioned it, that he just, man, that one really hurt. Rizwan did his thing, 43 runs, but took a lot of balls, 42 balls, playing more of an ODI situation there. Zaman, who I love, was not able to stick around for more than just an over's worth of balls. You had Iftikhar Ahmed, I'm sure I'm not doing the correct, but Ahmed showed up, 28, 22 balls, ended up being the highest strike rate. If you take away Ralph and if you take away Khan's few ball effort, he was able to help out with a 6 with a couple of boundaries, but they just could never get the scoring going, right? They could never really get that scoring going. They had a respectable score, especially with how it started off. They got 50 plus in the power play, but those middle overs, it was really, really tough for them to score big runs. The boundaries were sparingly, and it just wasn't happening too much. And unfortunately, even with Rizwan and Ahmed's higher scoring innings for their squad, no one was able to take over this match like a certain Indian batter did. I'll talk about it in just a minute. The story, the tail of the tape in the first innings was the Indian bowling, especially their pace attack. I don't always say that when we're talking international, especially when we're talking about some kind of tournament like this. And if you don't think they care about the Asia Cup, then you're crazy, because they do care about the Asia Cup. And when I say they, I mean all the cricketers involved in this tournament. No one's taking this as, this is just like a regional type of thing. No. I believe the players really care, and this is a great tune-up before the next T20 World Cup. But the bowling really had their way, and the conversation with the bowling, it starts and it ends with Bhuvi. I mentioned on the stream, and I'm going to mention it again. It is so great for me to finally witness the greatness of Bhuvi. Heard about his legend, heard about his greatness. We came in, it's like he was experiencing some back issues or some kind of injury, and it was heavy on him. It was hard for him to get out of that. It was just a heavy toll that he had to carry out and try to learn how, much like someone else I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But Bhuvi was, he basically strangled the opposition with his accuracy. He was so on point. And I think the first 3 wickets, Ozja mentioned, they mentioned it on the feed, 3 short balls got those wickets, and he was one of those wickets. He was absolutely dominant. Didn't give Pakistan a chance to feel comfortable in his 4 overs. Gave up 26 runs, which is not a lot, right? It's not a lot. But you think the way he bowled that he would have given up only 13 runs or something. That he was that dominant. He was amazing. 4 huge wickets in this match against Pakistan. It's phenomenal. But all the bowling really contributed in one way or shape or form besides Chahal. Jadeja only got 2 overs. Chahal, Gabe was mentioning it. He was right. He was right about it. I was trying to poke the bear a little bit. Chahal was not much of a factor in this match. At least he didn't give up 50. That would have been disastrous. It's not like he bowled horribly, but he wasn't really able to be made a factor. He had one chance where he could have caught and bowled it, but he kind of did one of these when he was trying to catch it. I don't know what the catching coaches are going to teach you in cricket if you want to take it that way. I personally, I know it's dangerous. I know it's crazy. You don't want to hit it in the face. I would have taken it straight up like this. So if I can't get a handle on it, it ricochets off my chest. It's going to hurt. It's easier said than done, but I want to have that opportunity to get that catch. He decided to do one of these, and it is what it is. Wasn't able to get that wicket. Ended up not being a factor as far as the ultimate decision in this match, but it would have been a huge factor in that moment. But the bowling was phenomenal. You keep Pakistan to 147. This team can score. This team knows how to play T20. They're led by, I think he's ranked number 1 in T20, if I'm not wrong. Ranked number 1 in a lot of different formats. Babar Azam, excuse me. And you got Rizwan. And you got, who am I forgetting here? Zaman, right? I feel like they're missing someone else in that line they usually have. I can't think of who it is. But the bowling for India was absolutely fantastic. It was a joy to watch, and it was something that was so nice to see as an Indian fan here from, some of these bigger matches have been and how they've turned out. Then we go to the second innings, and you would think, okay, India, they're going to make their presence known. They're going to really push the envelope. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And they kind of fell flat. Not going to lie. I think they had 20 runs in the first 4 overs for crying out loud. It took them to the 8th over before they can get to the 50-run mark. And it was absolutely unfortunate. KL Rahul, I feel like every time it's a big match for this guy and he's opening partnership, I feel like he's either injured or he's not able to perform. Golden Duck, really frustrating. And then Rohit and Virat, whether they were forced to because of that Golden Duck or because they were trying to be super conservative, they were not strike rating the ball at all, if that's even a phrase. They were not able to really attack the ball. They didn't feel comfortable with that. They didn't want to lose another wicket. They didn't want to have the momentum go right back to Pakistan, which it kind of did after that first wicket. And so they were able to outlast. Did Kohli have his best performance? No. But everyone said I was jinxing it by wearing this jersey today. How dare you? One smart person said, well, maybe it's going to help out Kohli in his big performance today. And as far as the most runs scored, he tied with the most runs on the Indian side with Jadeja. He had a high strike rate, 102.9, just barely over 100. But I feel like his patience, I feel like his innings, I feel like his performance was very, very helpful. Rohit wasn't able to do too much. A sub 100 strike rate, never want that from your opener. But both Kohli and both Sharma go down by Nawaz, the bowler, who I believe, yes, he had 3 wickets. He had 3 wickets. And if you're thinking about an Indian bowler I didn't mention yet, don't worry, I'm going to get to him, and you're going to know why. But the rest of the batters weren't able to really stay set until after the first 10 or 11 overs. Sky was able to put too much, 100 strike rate, 18 off 18. And then you had Jadeja, and then you had Pandya. And their partnership was fantastic. You look at the scorecard besides Pandya, you say, well, not a high strike rate for either, or for Jadeja, excuse me. But no, their partnership was essential. Establishing a partnership, being able to stick together for several overs, if not almost the entire match. Jadeja lost his wicket in the 20th over, and that was unfortunate. But their partnership was essential to the chase that they had. Was this the prettiest win? Absolutely not. In no way, shape, or form. What this shows is that Pakistan came to play. Pakistan is one of the favorites to win the Asia Cup. I would say India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, because the way Afghanistan took care of business, Sri Lanka is probably 4th there in that favorites list. Pakistan can play. They showed a whole lot of heart. They fought back on the bowling side. They fought back on the batting side. Even when they were against controversy, or not controversy, but they were they had conflict, right? They put themselves in bad situation, or bad situations came to them. They were able to fight back. They were able to fight hard, and I hope these two teams meet again. Finishing up on the India innings, you had a man that I did not mention bowling. He had 3 wickets. Man of the match, Hardik Pandya. This guy is so much fun to watch. Just like Bhuvi, I haven't been able to see it when I got into cricket, which the way Bhuvi usually goes. I have not seen Hardik Pandya look this amazing as he looked, I would say, in the last 12 months. This guy's led his team to an IPL championship, a brand new team for crying out loud, as their captain, and he's carrying that over into international, and he was showing some of those international signs, but when he's bowling 140 plus, are you kidding me? When he's batting 33 runs off 17, are you kidding me? And he's getting that game-winning 6, walk-off bye, let's go home, ladies and gentlemen, or go back to our locker room for crying out loud. He took over this game bowling. He took over this game batting. He got 2 quick boom wickets in his, 3rd or 4th over, and he got those quick runs. Great partnership he developed, and I think it was Jadeja that said, he told me he was going to play his shots, and thank goodness not only did he play his shots, but he lasted till the very, very end. He was by far the difference maker in this match. I would say him first and Bhuvi second as far as the difference makers, and then probably Jadeja third, and then Kohli fourth is how I would put it personally. Those are your top performers. But Pakistan came to bowl as well. They don't have, in my opinion, the top 3, the third best, and you can 1, 2, and 3, you can interchange them. The third best pace bowler in the entire world, from my humble opinion, in Shaheen Afridi. But you had a bowling attack without him. And he looked great on the sidelines. He got his hair all done, like a little bit of a frosted tips. I'm not sure what was going on in that situation. But he was, in all their formats, he is their top line bowler, and they did not have access to him. He's not fit right now. He's exhausted. He's injured. Whatever you want to call it, right? He's not available for Pakistan, which is frustrating because he is the leader of their bowling attack, even at a young age of 23, 24, whatever he is. But the bowling showed up. They showed up and they said, Afridi, we got this. We know what we're doing, for crying out loud. This kid, Shadab Khan. I don't know anything about Shadab Khan. This guy is amazing, 23 years old. His first 2 overs, 3 runs apiece. You get nothing and you like it. And then total, he gave up only 19 runs, for crying out loud. He didn't get any wickets, but he was able to keep the scoring down low. He had the lowest economy rate, and I think the entire bowling attack from both sides. Yes, he did. You got Naseem Shah, kind of like Bhuvi, right? You thought he gave up less runs than getting up 27, but he got those 2 important wickets. And Mohammad Nawaz, he had good, he had bad, he had fantastic. 3 wickets taken. Got a little expensive at different times. But Shadab Khan, unbelievable. A lot of parallels right here, right? Harris Ralph is kind of similar to Shahal's innings. Really, the only difference is one's a pacer, one's a spinner, but no wickets, gave up too many runs, wasn't really a great factor in the match. And I've seen Ralph do some insanely disgusting things in a good way on the cricket field. So that was India's benefit. But all in all, you had kind of a boring match as far as scoring goes, as far as I love. But you had a very compelling, exciting match. Pakistan was in it the entire way. I was calling them to lose a match after Azam's wicket was taken. I was being facetious, obviously, but at the same time, that's a huge wicket. And probably amongst all the batters, the biggest wicket you got to take, because he is number 1 right now. If he's not number 1, top 2, top 3 at least. You had a match that was very compelling. You had a match, if you're a Pakistan fan, then you are watching till the very end and you're saying we have a chance here. It got to the point where they needed 32 runs off 18 balls. India did, and I got super, super, super nervous. It was anyone's match at that time. In Crick Buzz, whoever's doing the up-to-date reporting, I'm following along because I was at church at the time. He's saying it's all going to come down to 1 over. 1 good or 1 bad over either side. That's going to be the difference. That's what it was. They got 14 runs in that 19th over, I believe it was, and that's all she wrote, for crying out loud. Great match, compelling match. Not the most exciting, not the best cricket played on both sides, but I would argue that Pakistan really showed up and showed out when they don't have their leader. I know India doesn't have their leader, but India's played without Bumrah many, many times. I think it's been a year and a half or something like that since Pakistan's playing without Afridi. That makes a big difference. If you don't think it doesn't, then I'm sorry, but it does. Both teams showed up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I don't think there's any like head and shoulders clear favorite right now in the cup. You would give it to India as that edge because they got this win. It's a big win. I'm curious how Pakistan does against Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, those kind of teams. I'm very, very curious. We're going to find out as the Asia Cup goes along. If I made any mistakes, I apologize. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this match. If you're an India fan, you got to be pumped up. If you're a Pakistani fan, you still get a lot of positives about this, but you're really, really bummed, kind of sick to your stomach because it was so close. Let me know all those thoughts. Comment below. Stick around for more content from CFA. And until next time, adios.